Hariom children, in the last class, you learned detailedly about the Constitution of India. Today, in this class, we are going to recapitulate the Constitution of India by learning the vocabulary, question answers, fill in the blanks, etc. First, you are going to learn the vocabulary which is there in the textbook. The first word is abide. Abide means accept and act according to the rule. We have to abide by all the rules and regulations of the Constitution. The second word is creed. The meaning of creed is a set of religious beliefs. I repeat, a set of religious beliefs. The third word is discrimination. Discrimination means unfair treatment of someone because of their religion or other personal features. I repeat, unfair treatment of someone because of their religion or other personal features. The fourth word is draft. I've told you, in the Constitution there were Constituent Assembly, members of the Constituent Assembly to draft the Constitution. So, what do you mean by draft? Draft means to write something such as legal document, speech or letter that may have changes made to it before it is finished. They all sit together and if they need a change, they can change it. So, again I repeat, the word draft means to write something such as legal document, speech or letter that may have changes made to it before it is finished. Here they have drafted the Constitution. Legal document means Constitution. Now the fifth word is preamble. Preamble means an introduction to a document or report explaining its purpose. I repeat, an introduction to a document or report explaining its purpose. So, preamble, in the last class I have taught you, preamble is an introduction to a document, that is Constitution, or report explaining its purpose. So, preamble is the first thing in the Constitution. Now, let's move on to the recapitulation of the Constitution of India. The second main in your textbook, page number 39, is a recapitulation of Constitution of India. The Constitution of India Now, what is Constitution of India? The Constitution is a supreme law of India. It is in the written form. It is the longest written constitution of sovereign country in the world, containing 448 articles in 25 parts, 12 schedules and 97 amendments. Beside the English version, there is an official Hindi translation, and B.R. Ambedkar is the chief architect of Indian Constitution. The Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. The document lays down the framework democrating fundamental political code, structure, procedures, powers and duties of government institutions and sets out fundamental rights, directive principles and duties of citizens. Now you understand what is there in Constitution? Political codes, structure, procedures, powers and duties of government institution and sets out fundamental rights, directive principles and duties of citizens. You should not forget this at all. Okay. Now let's start. What is a preamble? The preamble is an introduction and it sets the tone of the Constitution. The Constitution of India has laid down certain guidelines for the governing bodies on the basis of which they can frame laws and policies. These guidelines are called as directive principles. Now next one is fundamental rights. In India, Constitution has put down certain rights for all its citizens. These are known as fundamental rights because they are considered as basic rights for people to live in a society. So now let's recap which are the fundamental rights. Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. Okay, now let's move on to the fundamental duties. What are fundamental duties? The Constitution has laid down through the directive principles certain fundamental duties for all its citizens. They are fundamental duties. Now let's see what are the fundamental duties. Abide by the Constitution means we should follow and accept according to the rule. We have to accept the Constitution. Respect our national flag and national anthem. Promote harmony amongst all people of India. Value and preserve our rich heritage. All this we have discussed detailedly, isn't it? Yes. Protect and improve our natural environment. Safeguard public property. Since last year we have been discussing about the same thing. So let's move on to the question answers now. Now let's see answer the following questions. Why is the 26th of January an important date in the history of India? The answer is the Indian Constitution came into effect on 26 January 1950. We celebrate this day every year as the Republic Day in our country. The Constitution is important in our history because when the Constitution came into effect, India became a sovereign and a democratic republic. Once again, I repeat, the Indian Constitution came into effect on 26 January 1950. We celebrate this day every year as a Republic Day in our country. The Constitution is important in our history because when the Constitution came into effect, India became a sovereign and democratic republic. All of you have understood the meaning of sovereign and democratic republic, isn't it? We've already discussed about it. Let's move on to the second question. Stop. What does the preamble to the Constitution declare? The preamble declares that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. Now let's move on to the third question. Why do we need fundamental rights? The answer is the Indian Constitution has put down certain rights for all its citizens. These are known as fundamental rights because they are considered as basic rights for people to live peacefully in a society. Once again, I repeat, the Indian Constitution has put down certain rights for all its citizens. These are known as fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are necessary because they are considered as basic rights for people to live peacefully in a society. Now let's move on to the fourth question. What are fundamental duties? Mention any two fundamental duties. The answer is to be good citizens of our country, we must not only enjoy our rights but also do our duties. The Constitution has laid down through the directive principles certain fundamental duties for all its citizens. The two fundamental duties are we must abide by the Constitution. The second one is we must respect our national flag and the national anthem. I repeat, to be good citizens of our country, we must not only enjoy our rights but also do our duties. The Constitution has laid down through the directive principles certain fundamental duties for all its citizens. The two fundamental duties are we must abide by the Constitution, we must respect our national flag and the national anthem. Now let's move on to the fifth question. Name the organs of the government. Name the three organs of the government. Name the three organs of the government. The three organs of the government are the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. It's very easy to remember, isn't it? The three organs of the government are the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. I repeat, the three organs of the government are the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now let's move on to the B main. Fill in the blanks. The Indian Constitution begins with a dash. The Indian Constitution begins with a preamble. I've told you that is the introduction to the Constitution, isn't it? So Indian Constitution begins with always introduction comes first. So the Indian Constitution begins with a preamble. Rights and duties are laid down by the dash. Rights and duties are laid down by the Constitution. The answer is Constitution. If any citizen feels that his or her dash rights are being violated, he or she can seek dash from the courts. What is the answer? If any citizen feels that his or her constitutional rights are being violated, he or she can seek justice from the court. What can they seek? Justice from the courts. Now let's move on to the fourth fill in the blanks. Rules laid down by the Constitution are executed by the dash. Rules laid down by the Constitution are executed by the government. The government should follow and then it should give the rules to the citizens. Now the fifth dash is India has a dash judiciary. Again I repeat, India has a dash judiciary. What judiciary India has? Yes, independent judiciary. Independent is the answer. INDEPENDENT. Okay, let's move on to the C main. Write FR for fundamental rights and FD for fundamental duty. We must safeguard public property. First one is we must safeguard public property. Now you should tell me whether it's FD or FR. FR means fundamental rights and FD means fundamental duty. Where does it come? Yes, fundamental duty. We must safeguard public properties from fundamental duty. We must promote harmony against all people of India. Yes, that is also fundamental duty. Every person is considered equal in the eyes of law. That is our fundamental right. Every person is considered equal in the eyes of law as fundamental right, FR. A citizen can seek redressal from the court. So, justice, redressal means justice from the court. What is that? It is a fundamental right. Fifth one, forced labor, child labor, and human trafficking are illegal. What is it? It is a fundamental right. I told you yesterday in the last video we discussed about the child labors, isn't it? That is our fundamental right. We can go and complain. It's an illegal act. Sixth one, we must respect our national flag and national anthem. That is our fundamental duty. We must respect our national flag. I told you, you should not throw the national flag here and there. You should respect them by folding it and keeping it neatly. Children, let's recap the Constitution of India by watching the following video.
Sometimes it takes several years and hundreds of people to write a book. Do you know that the Constitution of India was written by over 300 representatives who met for a period of almost 3 years before our Constitution got formalized? The Constitution was enacted on 26 November 1949 and enforced on 26 January 1950. Hence, 26 November is celebrated as Constitution Day and 26 January as a Republic Day. To ensure the representation was as diverse as possible, these 300 people were partly elected and partly selected from all sections of society. There were Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Parsis, Anglo-Indians, tribal communities, and so on. There was representation across regions, castes, educational, and political backgrounds. There was also representation of women. Do you know how many women were represented? A total of 9 out of 300. A major accomplishment for a time when women empowerment was a faraway dream. Similarly, citing many complications and difficulties, the British wanted to write the Constitution for India before they left. This idea was however rejected by the Indians, who wanted to write the Constitution for themselves, as it would deal with their future. It is interesting to note that the Constitution of Japan was written by 24 male Americans in 7 days flat. The only Japanese in the room was a young woman interpreter. However, while the decision to write the Constitution ourselves was a noble one, in reality it was quite a difficult task to implement. With 23 recognized languages and innumerable dialects, it was difficult to agree on the language in which the Constitution would be written. Finally, it was agreed that the members could speak in any language they want, and the Constitution would be written in English and translated at once into Hindi. When the Constitution was prepared, the societal environment was hugely challenging. Partition, religious riots, division on the basis of caste, weak role of women, and so on. And yet, the makers chose hope. They instilled the fundamental human values of equality, liberty, justice, and fraternity as our core constitutional values and ensured that laws would protect these principles. One historian put it aptly: fundamental rights were to be framed amidst the carnage of fundamental wrongs. sessions of Constituent Assembly were marked by intense debates. One subject was who can vote? While debating over the qualification for voting and principles of representation, discussion was also held whether only educated people should be given the right to vote. This was opposed on the principle of equality. And finally, all citizens, irrespective of educational qualifications, caste, religion, or gender, got the right to vote. On this point, it is worth noting that in America, black people got the right to vote 80 years, and women got this right 133 years after the US Constitution came into being. There were several critical issues debated, including language, rights, minorities, governance structures, and so on. All the proceedings of the Constituent Assembly are documented and available for us on
Children, hope all of you have understood the Constitution of India thoroughly by watching this video. Thank you. Hari Om.